Thank God you're here, because today we're giving you another Americans React to Eurovision video. We're going to answer 12 questions that we've received about our feelings on Eurovision.
And if you're new to our channel, we're the Road Trotting Guys. I'm Mike, he's Derek, and we're two Americans that have been living in Denmark for 4 years. We're super excited about Eurovision. You're going to learn about how we became Eurovision converts. And Derek, I think we could say these are going to be our 12 points. Well, for one, we had some issues around the copyright rules in some of the videos. Sorry, Latvia. But the other main reason is that we were trying to be funny, but on rewatching, we came across a little bit crass and rude. And that wasn't our intent, but we kind of messed up.
Yeah, and I know we were trying to have some fun and be a little bit shady, but you guys take Eurovision really seriously. We as Americans didn't realize that, so we wanted to take the video down because we may have gone too far. In one particular instance with the artist Tix, we actually didn't know anything about his bio before we filmed, and when we learned more about him, we realized that our comments were way too aggressive, and we shouldn't have said those things about anybody, so we're going to take this video and take that video down and replace it with this one. Before we moved to Denmark, we really didn't know much about Eurovision at all. In fact, we had a few friends who were super into Eurovision, so I remember being at parties and hearing them play these songs and I had no idea what they were talking about, and really I had no curiosity either. It wasn't until we moved to Europe that we really found out and discovered that Eurovision was a cool thing we needed to get into.
Yeah, thanks Mike and Charlie for getting us into Eurovision. Good follow-up question here. I think, at least from our experience, not many people outside the gay community probably know that much or care anything about Eurovision. So that's why it kind of fit in for us when we moved over here.
Yeah, and honestly, after the story of the Fire Saga, the movie on Netflix with Will Ferrell, once that came out, we did start to notice that more Americans were talking about Eurovision, or at least had some curiosity about what Eurovision Song Contest is. And we did notice that some of our American friends were reacting to this by posting videos on Facebook to say, oh my gosh, I can't believe this act. And we were like, oh yeah, we've seen that. Or, oh, did you know that a drag queen won Eurovision? Like, yeah, we know that. And that was really cool to see. I would say in particular, some Americans that have strong cultural ties to where they come from in Europe, those were kind of the Americans that we saw posting things. For instance, we have a Greek friend who was super into going back and finding videos of Greek entries into the Eurovision Song Contest, and his reactions to those were cool to see on Facebook because he had never heard about Eurovision before.
And that's how he discovered his number one. So in truth, for us, it all started with ABBA. We were in Stockholm on vacation with some friends, and they were going to the Vasa Museum, and we said, we'll check out the ABBA Museum. When you go into the ABBA Museum, you start with a whole exhibit on Eurovision. We went through there and we were absolutely hooked and stunned by everything we saw in there.
Yeah, it was costumes from old Eurovision performances. I at least didn't realize that Celine Dion performed in Eurovision, so we got a really quick crash course, and I guess you could say we were particularly hooked after the Eurovision section of the ABBA Museum. By the time we heard Waterloo walking in, we were pretty much decided that we were going to go check out Eurovision after that visit. Mike especially got really into watching old YouTube videos of Eurovision entries. I came along and basically I started my Eurovision at that point, but Mike went way back in history after that visit to the museum.
Yeah, you'll find out that I really got sucked into 80s Eurovision in particular.
It's a good thing that Denmark put out the song that they did this year.
I feel very at home with their entry this year.
So in truth, our reaction to Eurovision now that we live in Europe is that it kind of makes us feel like we're in on something that was kind of kept secret to a lot of Americans. So it really was a big part of us integrating, and we kind of feel more at home in Europe, our adopted continent now.
Yeah, and we're big history nerds, so it's a great way to learn about the history of Europe for the last 65 plus years and understand how the continent's changed, especially through music. So it completely makes sense. I mean, Americans love song contests, and American Idol was huge like 15 years ago especially. So it totally makes sense that this is going to become a thing. And I think Americans are really going to receive it well. I mean, It's a really diverse country. There's different types of music from different parts of the country, whether it's jazz from New Orleans or East Coast, West Coast rap, country. So it'll be really neat to see what different countries and regions come up with.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see and showcase all of the talent and all the different music styles in America. I mean, even though it is one country and speaks one language, it is a really diverse place. So it'll be cool to see how the music is reflected in that. I would hope that they take their own style, meaning that like Eurovision has evolved and been perfected and reimagined and reinvented over the years in Europe, and it's art and a showcase for that art that's very specific to the European Song Contest. So if Americans react to that by copying it and not trying to make it their own and putting an American spin on it, I don't think it will go over as well. Also, on that note, don't expect Americans to do a lot of research and think that the origin of the American Song Contest is in Europe, because we like to think that the things we steal from other cultures are just purely American. So I just want you all to be prepared for the outcome, inevitably, of Americans thinking that we invented the idea of a multi-night song contest crowning a regional song champion. We're going to steal it and think that it was ours.
Yeah. But I think also with the history of Eurovision is all about uniting Europe. And right now, having something that might unite America isn't the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, we could use that. Not gonna lie, we are suckers for a good pop song, and you probably noticed that if you were among the people that watched our first reaction video. Our favorite songs were the pop songs, the radio songs, the ones that we wanted to hear in the club. And we know that there's many types of music.
Yeah, but we can't help it. We like a bop. So I think, or I hope that there's a consensus that probably two of the best songs of all time of Eurovision are Waterloo and Euphoria. So Derek, we're going to have to choose something besides that.
Yeah, okay. For me, my Eurovision lifetime is obviously much shorter. I would really only count the last 4 that I've been living in Europe, and we all know that one didn't quite happen. So my 2 favorite are probably from the same years, which would be Fuego, which was by Eleni from Cyprus, and also the song Lie to Me from the same year, which came out of the Czech Republic with Mikolas Joseph. Still on like my gym playlist. I love them, and they're just great songs.
And those are probably 2 of my favorite from the We're Watching Eurovision era of our lives here. But for my favorite, I can't help it. I love Sweden in Eurovision, and I'm going to told you I love the 80s. So I'm going to go back to Carola and Fangang off in Stormwind. Just a great song, and you can't go wrong with a wind machine.
Okay, I'll go first because I don't even have to think about this one. I am huge fans of Ben and Tan, who got robbed last year and didn't get to go to Eurovision. I had strong opinions on this, and I still have strong opinions on this, because they should have been going this year to represent Denmark in the Eurovision Song Contest, and I'm very upset for them on their behalf. They weren't even allowed into the Dansk Melody Grand Prix because their song was rejected, and it's a good song, and they should have been automatically placed in Eurovision this year, and I'm very upset for them. And that's all I have to say.
It's okay.
Yes.
For me, I like going to the Wayback Machine myself. I pick a Danish song. I want Birte Kjær. I love Vi Maler Bien Rød. I think it's a phenomenal song. It's a fun song. And she's a phenomenal artist I've gotten into as well. And one honorable mention we have to raise. We know it didn't make it out of Dansk Melody Grand Prix, but the first Danish birthday song we learned is thanks to Tommy Seeback. Hip Hurra Min Fødselsdag.
Yep.
Obviously, we're just happy to have Eurovision back, and it was an awesome night of music. For me, 2 of my 3 favorites made it through. Croatia didn't. I love TikTok. Apparently, not everyone else did, but I'm really happy that Cyprus and Malta made it through.
Yeah, and 2 of my 3 top made it through as well. I was all about the female pop songs. I know I got red for that earlier, but I am super happy that Azerbaijan made it through with Mata Hari, and I'm super happy that Israel made it through. I'm a little bit sad as well that Croatia didn't make it. I thought that song was great, but I'm still going to be playing it. Okay, for the second semifinal, my favorites and my tops are Czech Republic, number 1. Why? they don't have a natural alliance in Eurovision, just like all the Nordic countries vote for each other. You know, you've got Spain and Portugal, you know, and I just think there's nobody standing for Czech Republic, so I will, because I think that they are undervalued in Eurovision. So let's go Benny, let's go Czech Republic. I also am throwing up Finland because I love that song and it's great. And of course, my girl Stefania from Greece, because once again, I'm going with the female pop bop and I love it.
Well, for me, I'm heartbroken with the news that Iceland is no longer in the competition. I have loved them since first discovering them back in before last year's Eurovision. So I'm so heartbroken that they can't perform and compete. Again, I truthfully believe that we'd be in Reykjavik right now if it was a normal year last year. But with them out, my top three for semifinal 2 are 3 completely different songs. I will take number 3, Switzerland. I think it's a beautiful song. He's got an incredible voice. Number 2, I'm with you on the female pop. I'm all about Greece. I think Stefania is awesome. And then my number 1, I can't help it. I love Finland. I love having a rock entry in there. I know that there's 2,
good.
But I love Finland. I think it's an awesome song. And one honorable mention, San Marino keeps getting a lot of run on my Spotify list this time around, but I have to say, I don't know if I can really vote when there's nobody who's San Marinese in the competition, as they have an Italian and somebody from Florida singing the song.
Florida. Okay, well, my number 1 song that I'm giving my 12 points to is a song that I don't expect to get a lot of points because just nobody votes for the UK, but come on! It's such a good song, and Embers, you're getting my 12 points.
Oh, that's awesome. For me, I told you before, it's Finland for me. With Iceland out, Finland's my number 1. It brings a little teenage angst, and I'll tell you what, we're all feeling a little angsty these days. I think it's the perfect song for the moment.
Let's see what happens. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let us know what you think and what your picks are in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to our channel if you want to hear more of our content about life abroad, living in Europe, living in Denmark, and all of our favorite things.